That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Hi guys, welcome to Spittin' Fire with Racheal, Blaze, and Tarzan and Andrew. I won't sing again. I'll quit my day job. I got a great show lined up for you guys. Hey Thomas, it's a pleasure to have you with us too. Guess what?
Why are you making that?
Why did you do that? Guess what, you guys? I've got some sponsor stuff that I need to go over with you guys real quick. I know that 2020 was a traumatic experience for a lot of us here. And I want to talk about mental health and suicide and being left alone. Make sure you watch out for those signs with your loved ones and never leave them alone. Make sure you contact them, love on them. So many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. You guys, look out for each other, okay? And I got a great poll question for tonight. Should transgenders participate in women's sports? Agree or disagree?
That's a tough one.
What do you think? I don't agree with it. I think anyone who is born as a man has natural how do I politically say it?
So
man abilities, where females are not on that equal.
yeah,
We don't have a lot of testosterone, so my force isn't going to be the same.
it's not the same. It's you can say that you're one thing and be another thing, and it's not the same. It's like on average, men are just they're in a different level than women. It's not, I wouldn't consider that fair. Like I know there's a lot of sports where they have, what do you call it, where both sexes can play on the same team, and that's something different. That makes sense to a point, but
so you wouldn't feel comfortable fighting a female. Let's just say you had your junk cut off and then you get in a cage with a girl. How would that make you feel?
I still don't think that would be fair.
And here's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, so the man's going to come in there probably pulverized, just like, we have Fallon Fox. That last fight put that girl in a hurt. So my issue is you're going to cause more damage to a female. And I'm thinking, okay, well, the guy or the in-betweener, I don't know what the political, look, I don't care what you guys do.
What's the politically correct term for this?
But you are going to go in there and you're going to beat every girl. Well, except for Chris Cyborg. She's a badass.
Yeah,
but anyway,
nobody's going to beat her.
So I'm just saying, you're going to come in there, he's going to win and he's going to get the titles because he's got more strength than your females. You could be a big badass female, unless you're Chris Cyborg, because she's just a badass.
I don't care how good a man can possibly get. That's a really tough woman to beat.
Yeah.
She
picked
strong
up.
like
She
a bull.
picked up a man. She could do it.
Nope. Mm-mm.
She will get you. And there was even talk some time ago that they thought maybe Chris Cyborg was not female.
Oh, come on.
And that's not true. Now she's all dolled up. She's all prettied up. And, when you get in the UFC, they want women to be sexy. So they sexified her and she's just a big badass. I wouldn't want to get in the cage with her.
I don't know. I never really noticed her as being like super, super sexy until she started showing her face outside of the ring. Like when I think of her as a fighter, I think of her like in the ring. I'm like, hey, that's badass. That's badass right there. I never thought of her as like sexy in the ring.
Now here's this next question by
females
JP.
could
JP
compete
said
in a man's man's league if they want. Okay, so females could compete in a man's league
Yeah,
if they
we got
want.
women in football, and we got
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if it's
women in
a
wrestling.
what is it called, intramural or whatever it's called, or co-ed sport?
Yeah.
that makes sense. Completely, because you all know what we're
Right
on.
now,
We're all on the same level.
If you're a girl and you decide to go up against a bunch of guys, then you a badass too.
Like, that's cool.
Do
but
it.
if it's, I feel like,
But
but
if
if it's
you're-
just one-on-one type deal and it's a man versus a female, that doesn't seem.
But what
quite
about
right.
disclosure? What if they disclose and say, "Hey, I went through this change and now I'm a female"? I still would have a problem with it, even if they had the disclosure. Hey, I went through a change. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to fight you. I don't care how small and tiny you are. And no, because it's totally different. It's totally different. Our makeups are different. Would you agree?
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys with Cyborg, I just and even though she could probably beat up people, I don't think she'd appreciate the fight men. I mean, it's a different playing field. I think naturally men are just stronger. That's nothing against women. They could be talented and as athletic. It's just we got some other stuff inside of us that just makes us stand out. So it's not fair. I mean, so then, that takes away. The women aren't going to play in WNBA. Why not go to the NBA, try to make real money? Like, it just messes up a bunch of things. It's not fair. I mean, so, yeah, it's unfortunate. Like I said, we've seen some things, Fallen Fox and stuff. And
yeah, that didn't go over too well, and it didn't last very long. I mean, I've been out of the loop for a while. I don't know, Steve. I haven't heard about Fallon in a long time. So is she still that person's, is she still fighting? I don't even know what to say. I don't want to offend anybody. Look, guys, don't get me wrong. I have gay friends and I have no issues. If this is the choice and the decision that you made, I'm not going to be against your choice with your life and your body. I can't get mad at you for that. Would I never not be a friend of yours? I probably would, I would be a little uncomfortable as long as you don't hit on me, because that would be kind of weird and awkward. But I have no issues with, I mean, back in the day when I was raised as a Catholic in church, grade school, that was against the rules. There was absolutely no way we would accept that.
What?
And somehow we have. So, but now I'm like, I have a really good friend in Chicago and he's gay and I love Ray. Oh my gosh. He is like the perfect guy. He cooks, he cleans, and he loves to go shopping, and he can do some hair and nails. Let me tell you. Oh yeah. I would never give him up for nothing. He's a really good friend. So, but let me tell you something about this. He is totally against the whole child thing, adding that plus to the community. He totally disagrees with it. So
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and a lot of people disagree with that as well. I disagree though. Okay, I see. And Michael Wesley says, "Hey gang, happy Friday." Hey, happy Friday. You see my muscles? I got muscles now.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited to feel that. I got a bump right there. I'm gonna punch somebody. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't punch on these.
I wanted to go back to the
let's do it.
When I was in high school, there was obviously you're thinking there's girls and then boys teams, right? And I did wrestling for a little bit. I was not a great wrestler. I only was able to beat one guy out of our entire wrestling team. And that year when I decided to join, I think there was two girls, but there was one that stayed. And the one that stayed was a badass. Like she's been doing it for a long ass time, and there was no girls team. So she ended up wrestling against a lot of men, in her weight class, and she would dominate in her weight class. And it was ridiculous. There was nobody that I knew of during that time that could actually, catch her. So there are some women that are definitely better than men at wrestling. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, no. I mean, and it's with everything. Everybody's different. Some men aren't as good as others, and nobody's exactly the same. So, but she was like I don't know what, like Apex Predator at the time. Like nobody wanted to fuck with her.
Yeah, I wrestled all my life, and I wrestled 2 girls during my
Yeah.
time, and putting it out there right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I lost.
It's
each
okay to lose.
time, right?
It's okay.
I lost to them each time. I wrestled them first, and I remember my father telling me, "She's in here. She's playing a man's sport. She's go out there." And I went out there and completely destroyed them the second time. Like, no chance. But there's been a couple, and Caitlin Chase, she's went to Glenbard North. She placed in stage, she whooped butt. I've known people that beat her back in IKWF. She got into high school and she ran stuff. So, it's not saying that someone can't beat, but with these super athletes and these elites, men, I mean, we're talking about LeBron James and people like that, and people in the fight industry, Conor McGregor's and Khabib. So yeah, it's not fair. It's a different ball game.
Hi, that was fun. Yeah,
That was
I was trying to
not,
respond to a
a little
comment.
bit of a
Okay, never mind.
distraction there. It's all
Little
good.
distraction. Mayo says, I hope I said that right. Please forgive me, Mr. Riviera. I totally want to spark homie. Spark homie in the back up. Seems like a guy I can talk ancient alien shit with. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm like, I might want to talk about some ancient alien shit.
What are you talking about? Got me real interested.
I know, right? Spencer Duramas. Duramas?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Facts. Let's see. Spence says, I think just because we were raised in a different generation, we are a lot more accepting than the generation of our parents and grandparents was raised in. That is absolutely correct. Oh yeah, my
Things have
dad
changed quite a bit.
Yeah, my grandparents would be like, what the hell? What are you talking about? That doesn't happen in our family, but he said he wants to smoke weed and talk ancient aliens.
Oh, so he wants to spark one up and
Yeah.
talk some aliens.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I could talk about, look, it's 2021. I'm ready for the aliens. I see them in the sky right now. No, I'm just kidding.
What's going on?
That's what's in the news this lately. Oh, there's going to be an alien invasion. How many years are we going to talk about this?
Till there's no more years left.
2012 we were done. I thought that was going to be like, I don't know, man.
Spencer said, I'm so happy for the females that are sleeping.
Or stopping.
Oh, stepping up
Stepping up,
through.
nice.
Wait, I can't read.
It's okay.
see.
Destin, that one's for you.
Stepping up though, like Sarah Fuller, the first female to kick in college. See, now there you go. I was gonna bring up a thing. See, like that, things like that happen. Absolutely.
Amanda
Now
Nunes.
you don't see her being a running back necessarily, and I hope that she doesn't get clobberized. This is college size. Like they're bigger than this man, and I don't know if you guys seen this man. I mean, I don't want to get hit by
Mine are
him,
bigger.
so I think she's awesome. I know a lot of people gave her, a lot of smack. She did something, set records, but. Woo, like I said, I hope she doesn't get hit very hard or anything like that. I hope she really
quick.
She's a kicker, right? I mean, she's at a good position to not get. Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like I'm over here against the girls. I'm not trying to have you guys get hurt, man.
No.
We are not against you. No.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is a big guy. I mean,
I'm definitely not a fighter.
If
though.
I
No.
saw him come in dressed as a female and wanting to fight me, I'd be like, oh, hell no, bye. I like my face the way it is. Okay, a couple cuts.
I look
no big
intimidating.
deal.
I look more intimidating than I actually am.
All right, maybe we'll have a show and somehow we.
Oh my God, let's talk about aliens. I have an alien costume. I could wear that on the show. We could chief it up. I mean, I'll have some edibles.
When the hell did you get an alien costume?
Yeah, exactly. I have one. I am an alien. Shh, don't tell anybody.
She's one of the lizard people. She's a bee.
I'm a lizard. I'm a redheaded lizard. I'm a chameleon. I change all the time. Good evening, Blaze Crew. Love you, Pete. Thank you for coming on and joining us tonight. I respect the shit out of her, but running back would be no go. Laughing out loud.
Yeah, see,
Yeah. See? Oh
But
wait.
hey, if you can do it, girls, power to you. I just don't think men need to be jumping into women's sports.
Yeah, no.
Like you said, I'm
that's
down with co-ed. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
that's-
sports like, you know, hey, ping pong or
Like
something. I mean, and nothing against that. I think that, you know, it's more like takes less physical abuse and stuff like that. It's more of like a strategy.
More skill-wise.
Skill-wise,
I got
yeah.
you.
You girls are smart.
Yeah.
Stick to that stuff. You guys
Like-
got more brains than us men out here. That's why you guys live longer.
Peter says he agrees with the poll. Do you agree that women or that transgenders should be in female sports, or do you agree that they should not be? That would help.
Like I said, on both sides, there's stuff. Like I said,
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons. Like we've learned, there's pros and cons to a lot of everything. I'm not sure if our guest has arrived yet. Rob Hines. He is a good friend of mine here in Illinois. He's refereed many fights across the United States and locally. He's also has officiated. He's also judged. He's also a competitor from way back in the day, some time ago. He is one of my ultimate favorites, and he actually trains and teaches people how to referee. He works with the sanctioning body. He's helped develop so many different programs concerning the sanctions. So I am really excited to have him on. So I'm hoping he's on. Is he on, Steve?
Oh, wait. Give it a second. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of
boy,
last week.
He's been on though since the beginning of the
This is more educate. Okay, allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D for 15% off. Allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D for 15% off. You better jump on it.
2D.
Joanna Man. I love it, JP. Joanna
I was
Man.
waiting for something like that. I was waiting for it.
Perfect. See,
Joanna Man. Oh no, let's not get him talking like Chris Tucker.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. That's a tough.
That's how adults talk. Take notes, mainstream. Yes, exactly. We have debates and communications. That's what we do.
Debates and communications.
Well, yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
like,
that sounds.
Yeah, see? Okay, maybe it's communications and debates. I don't know. Whatever.
Something like that. Something like that. You had a good thing going.
I know, right?
She's on to it. It's
I'm
right
pretty
there.
good at things.
She's on the cusp.
Oh,
wait.
Hey,
look at you.
Hi. I'm just trying to find out.
She's got her own thing going in the background over here.
She's got two shows going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where my first guest is. I like that. Sounded smart as shit. I know I'm freaking smart as hell. Aren't I smart?
She has her
What
moments.
you got in
She has her
over
moments.
there, Andrew?
Uh-oh.
What is
Quick
that?
shout out to
Oh, snap.
Sheila.
Wait, what happened to the rock stuff? Nobody's doing the rock stuff.
Tequila.
happened?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, you know the Terramana,
Okay.
right?
So
something I wanna try, though.
While we're waiting for
No, not that.
Rob,
The Terramana.
small
let me see if I can.
No, I can't.
tag
I
him.
definitely can't. Not on the diet.
I'm not
See?
sure.
There you go with.
See, I'm strict.
Hold on, you guys.
They
I'm
say
trying
stick
to
to a
find
diet. You stick to a diet.
transgenders should be in their own Olympics. I agree with that statement, and I do not
That
think
makes
that
sense.
is discrimination in any way, shape, or form. If
Why don't
you
we just start
want
a
to
whole
do
new
that,
class? There we go. That's
look,
smart.
I'm
That's smart.
okay with
Nobody
that.
thought about that.
Question, put the chance in. And that's what girl going to a man and also vice versa. They all go in the same. Still a little gray area.
I mean-
but I like it. Do
I-
it and
hey.
see if it works out. I think that's the
Okay.
most fair way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why do we have man and women's sports to start with? We've had that
Yeah.
for so long
Yeah.
for some reason.
I mean, hey, I'm okay for a change if it's, hey, if you're
Trying
a
to
guy
involve more
and you
people?
decide to
It
change
would,
into a girl and you're a girl and you might want to challenge them.
Maybe they'll feel more
Okay, that might be a good show.
It would
I
be
don't know.
interesting.
I can't watch a man beat a woman. I just can't do it. Like blood and I don't know. It's just such a stigma with that. I know it's just a. No, I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it.
I don't know. Fighting seems like that's That's I feel like fighting sports shouldn't be allowed to where they mix. That's just
Yeah, I don't like
men
it.
beating women than on the news.
yeah,
Hey,
because
this woman.
this is a white beater over here. What's going on?
So
I
a
woman
tough
beater.
one. Their happiness is first. So hey, first off, do you? We
I
live
don't.
a short life. Enjoy whichever you please.
Yeah.
You know, but just as long as it doesn't affect other people, I have no
Billie
problem
Jean
with
King.
everything.
He said Billie Jean King.
Oh, jeez.
Billie Jean.
I can take a shot.
Yeah, there's just no way. I
No.
can't. I mean, I
I feel like
couldn't
that's-
even. I barely could even watch the Fallon Fox fight. I couldn't. And then after the damage was done, that was horrendous.
If you're unsure about who we're talking about, just quickly Google
yeah, you can
YouTube,
Google.
and you'll definitely see the person that looks like if you combined all of us together, and closer to his hair.
Okay, so Spence says I would like to see Amanda Nunes knock out
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
I agree,
Oh,
but once
damn.
again, man, no, I want him instead of him because he's fighting
Right.
Ben Askren.
Okay, so
Both parties agree. You're trying to figure out a way to see him here. I'm gonna go on my phone.
wait.
Wait, can
Okay,
you find-
Spence
oh,
said
yeah.
Jake
Yeah,
Paul
I can
said
do it here.
nobody knows who she is. Oh no, that's
It's a good
bad.
one. Good try. Of course, everyone
Like,
knows she's the most
okay.
dominant female fighter. That's marked on our planet
So
for
there
sure.
was a question or a comment
Hold on, I
I
got
had. I
this.
can't. Oh yes,
You got-
Cameron. I'm sorry, I can't see from this far. If both parties agree on it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to see it either. I think that's
So
why.
it says,
Come on,
if
I
both
don't.
If both parties agree on it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to see someone get hurt.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Oh look
Oh,
at
see, that's
you.
way
oh look,
way
I look
easier.
terrible trying to look at the screen.
You guys focus your
Slowly.
faces. I'll help get.
Yeah.
Jake Paul said nobody knows who she is. Yeah. So once again, he's fighting Ben Askren. If he was trying to do something, he'd get someone that actually had stand up. Ben Askren's a wrestler. He's been wrestling all his life. He's proved to us that he has no stand up. But I am standing by him 100%. I hope he can
He's gonna work on it.
show something to
Yeah.
this man that you better stop calling people out.
Uh-oh.
But
It's all good. It's not the first time.
true.
It's not. I am connecting with Rob, so I think he might have gotten the time cut across
Uh-oh.
because A2D radio is Eastern Standard Time, whereas here in Illinois, we're Central Standard Time. So he probably saw the advertisement, was like, oh yeah, I'm coming on at 7. No, you're coming on at 6:15. But it's okay. It's all
Oh.
good. Yeah, I get confused with the
Yeah.
time zones. I'm like Central Standard Time. Central Standard.
I still don't know.
yeah.
I'm like,
that's-
oh no, I gotta double
I think of it
check.
like Eastern is like what, an hour ahead, and then Midwest is that's obviously
Most
now.
people will
But
be like, Siri, when do I know?
what time is it now? Wait a minute. Okay, so it's really 7 over there on the East Coast, right?
So yeah, I mean, it's quickly confused too, because if
7:24.
you just see a number and you don't happen to look, I mean,
Yeah.
it happens.
So
confusing.
Okay, so just like I thought, he said, "Oh, I thought it was on at 7 because that's what the promo said." And I'm like, Central Standard Time, Central
7 hours.
Standard Time.
Close
So, Thomas, we have to work on that somehow to like get,
enough. Why don't we post all the times up there? That would be.
I don't know.
interesting.
I tried.
Alright, here's what
that,
it is
and
in the
then
West,
it got,
and here's
and
what
then
it
it got
is in the-
confusing,
Maybe we do take
and
a couple
so.
Yeah, I see it's worth it because
Yeah.
you got people from all over the place, and everyone's gonna come in on
So
7
I
different times.
think he's
And
gonna.
once we find it once, the times that continue.
Yeah.
I mean, we have it. We know. Okay, cool. Yeah.
See?
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
that
think
makes
he's going to be
sense.
coming on, Steve. So, yay, Rob Hines from Illinois.
Soon.
1, 2, no.
No,
Okay, never
stop.
mind.
Not yet.
Darn it, I was pretty excited.
So you gotta wait.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
That's
But
okay.
He's very knowledgeable on his
Oh, yeah.
fighting and stuff. So he should have a couple good to share. But I
Yeah.
bet
I'm actually kind of
multiple
Excited.
When's the last time you seen your friend?
Huh?
When's the last time you talked to him?
Oh my God. The last time I talked to Rob was.
Or maybe when you guys did some type of fighting activity
Oh
together or
God.
something?
We
This was
did.
back
Was
when you were
it
doing. Uh-oh.
Rob?
Oh, snap. He's going to make sure.
Hello.
Mr. Hines, I see
Is he
you're
in the
driving.
car?
I can't see your face.
Hi, everybody.
What's up?
Hi, Rob.
How's it going?
It's going great. I was talking about you for a little bit. And then we were talking about when the last time we did a show together, and I can't remember. I think it was Hidden Fight Challenge or Hidden, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was that
man, that was that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Maybe 2014.
Yeah, that was a long
was-
time.
That was
And
a good
then,
minute
I mean,
ago.
we talked periodically through social media when I got sick, but I kind of was out of the loop for a little bit. Now I'm like ready to get back in the game. Are you ready for me,
Oh,
Rob?
So glad to have you back in the game. We missed you.
I'm like,
I
so what's
know,
happened?
I
Catch
miss
me up.
everybody. I miss everybody a lot. I really, really do. I can't see your face. You're driving, aren't you?
I am driving.
I see the back seat of your vehicle. I believe it looks like a Chevy
He who shall
Tahoe.
not be seen.
I know.
Turned.
It's the.
the.
What'd you say, Rob?
Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit.
Oh,
I
this
see
I'm
your
sure.
hand. Yep, I recognize that hand. No, I'm just kidding.
See that? See my big head?
Oh, I see it.
It's really
Wait,
dark.
I think
It's-
so. You're
you
really
see the
shadowed.
Yeah.
That's okay. You'll
We can
just
hear him
be
now.
the invisible man for tonight.
Cool. My soothing voice will have to do, I guess.
And I know. So we were talking a little bit about you. I haven't caught up with you. So I know, given with all of what happened in 2020 with the virus, how did it affect you last year? I know it affected a lot of gyms. It affected a lot of fighters. If it hadn't been for Dana White, they probably wouldn't have had any shows.
Yeah, it obviously it affected the entire industry top to bottom, because Abu Dhabi and Las Vegas were two of the only places that were available. That's kind of where the UFC has done their shows. But then there are also other promotions like LFA, Bellator, that have done shows in other places. Invicta continued to do shows in Kansas. So it had opened up a little bit, but nowhere near where it was.
Yeah, Andrew, excuse me. I have Andrew Haney on with us tonight. He is hosting with us, and he's getting back into MMA. His brother fought. I don't know, what shows did he do? What shows did you both do?
Oh, so yeah, XFO, Cutthroat.
Oh, God,
Power
Cutthroat.
Fights, Total Fights.
Yeah, Total Fight Challenge. I love Joe. He's such a great guy, and for him to hold out for a whole year, oh my gosh! I know he's
Yeah, Joe's itching to get back at it. I think he moved his most recent show all the way up to August now, but I know he's ready to get back after it.
Yeah, I think I saw that post where it was August. It's so sad because back when I was doing it, when we were around together, it was popping. Like every weekend there was a fight. It was great. And then the sanction came in and it kind of slowed down a little bit. It came down pretty hard. And now it's like, oh my gosh, Illinois is boring now. We need to bring the game back. Right?
Yeah,
They make it so
realistically, during those times, I was doing 40 or so shows a year. It was constant.
This was all in Illinois?
No. This was worldwide. For Bellator, UFC, the local shows, all that stuff. So it was everywhere.
Okay.
So, Rob, you're new to A2D Radio. So, explain a little bit about you, what you do, your organization,
Where you're
things
from.
like that. Well, we know where he's from.
Your
He's here
favorite
from
food,
Illinois.
possibly. No.
Okay, so just a real quick synopsis. I was an amateur and a pro fighter from the very beginning, from the no holds barred days. And during my fight career, I also was invited to referee some local events. and fighting and reffing at the same time all through the 90s. And then in 2000, when I retired from fighting, I just continued to referee and then train referees and judges, become part of the ABC, which is the kind of the oversight body for combat sports, and helped adapt the rules, regulations, and again, training officials. So I've been through every evolution of the sport.
That is amazing. Are you still teaching those classes?
That's come to quite a halt as well. I'm still approved. I'm still, available to do classes. There are a couple states like Kansas and Iowa where I continue to do officials workshops every so often, but this year has been almost nothing.
So we need to plug you on some shows here so we can get some guy. I know okay. Andrew and I were talking about you, and I said I wanted to take the classes, maybe just have it under my belt per se. But I told him, I said, I don't know if if somebody got knocked out and then died, I don't know if I'd be able to sleep, like if it was my fault. I don't know if you've had any encounter with that or a serious injury. How does that affect you when you're refereeing?
The more experience you get, the feeling never gets easier, but the way you handle situations become more comfortable. Luckily in my career, nobody's ever died on my watch. Nobody's ever been seriously injured on my watch, but there have been some injuries, some knockouts, especially when people do get knocked out and they're not waking up for a period of time. Your heart definitely sinks, and there's all those feelings that come along with it. But as you grow experience and as you raise your skill level, dealing with those situations becomes a lot easier, but the feeling's never easy.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, like seeing how you guys would react to like whether somebody got knocked out or a serious injury, something happened and somebody had to be rushed off to like the hospital or something like that.
There was actually a bout that I did for the UFC. It was Nico Price and Tim Means, and it was a fantastic fight. Both the guys were damaging each other. It was really good. But at the end of the fight, Nico Price actually ended up knocking out Tim Means, and as he knocked out Tim Means, Tim fell backwards and snapped his leg and was knocked out at the same time. So that's just one of those odd situations that comes up to where you not only have a fighter that's knocked out, but you also have a broken bone at the same time. So it's one of those odd situations. But again, the more you go through similar things, the easier it is to stay calm in the moment, make sure you're taking care of the fighter. But that's one that definitely stands out for me.
Okay.
Wow. That's such an experience. I mean, we all know what happened here in Illinois with Jeff Dunbar. I'm not sure who was the referee on that. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But that was such a sad scenario that happened, and kind of it doesn't happen very often, but when it does hit, it's pretty traumatic. I mean, for me, I'm a female. I love all the guys, and I'm kind of like the mom, I guess. And so it just oh my gosh, it would break my heart. Like Jeff Dunbar was a special, case. We did a lot with Jeff, and and then I think it was Wisconsin. I can't remember if it was Michigan or Wisconsin. There was a young man who lost his life. I don't remember.
It was a Wisconsin kickboxing match.
Yes.
Wisconsin.
You remember? Yeah. That was,
those things you never forget, Racheal.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine actually witnessing that up close. I mean, you see it on TV or you see it cage side and you're like, ooh, And then you get your critiquers are like, oh, you should have done this and you should have done that. Oh, you should have called that. They're blaming, and it's kind of sad because it's a hard job what you're doing. But I want to talk about your classes. Like, I know that you've worked with John McCarthy.
Yes.
How was that? Because he's such a cool guy.
John, you know, the godfather of MMA officiating. Always a wealth of knowledge. You always know where he stands on everything. You know, working with not only John, but all of those really elite level officials. It's an absolute privilege, you know, just sharing information back and forth, you know, even debating or arguing each other's calls, make it, you know, all that stuff makes each other better. You know how they say iron sharpens iron. So being with all those people, like, you know, just all the elite level officials for that many years, it's a true privilege. Most people don't get the opportunity to be amongst the best of the best in an entire industry or in an entire sport.
That is, I mean, that's amazing. I've watched Mike Beltran. I've watched all the Cutmen and Stitch, and we just had Burt Watson on a couple of weeks ago. He was awesome. He goes,
love Burt.
It's so funny. Burt goes, Racheal, I only do about 20 minutes for an interview. And I said, okay, no pressure. However long, we're blessed to have you anyway. And so he ended up being on the show for 2 hours. Poor Andrew didn't get his slot.
He's like,
so Andrew, you have become a host that night. So that was, but he was so much fun and so encouraging with the fighters. You know where I stand with that. I was always very passionate about trying to, you know, bring change or do promotions and marketing and teaching even the young ones how to promote themselves in the sport that they want to be in, whether it be MMA or another sport. But I am so excited, and I'm hoping 2021 will be different here in Illinois. I mean, we need some fights, man. We've got a lot of talented fighters out here.
I don't know about Illinois, but other places are definitely opening up.
Is Indiana opening up yet? I don't think they were really closed, were they?
Yeah, they're shut down still. Again, most places are still shut down, but places like Iowa and Kansas, they're open. Actually, you know, the last event that I did was this past summer in Iowa, and it was an all outdoor event. It was absolutely fantastic. And actually, one of your former guests was the main event.
No. Who was that?
It was Pat Miletich versus Michael Nunn in a kickboxing match.
Yes. That was awesome. He didn't even talk about that. Oh my gosh.
Talk about this.
We're gonna have to have him back.
Yeah, they could. You know, Monty Cox promoted that event, and it was actually called the Fight to Unite. You know, Michael Nunn, who was a world champion boxer for years and years, and we obviously know Pat's pedigree and background, UFC Hall of Famer, and they both became friends and decided, let's unite the people in Iowa because they're both Iowans, and let's meet in the middle. Let's, you know, not do MMA, let's not do boxing, let's do kickboxing. And we'll do a 4-round exhibition, and we're doing it really to bring the people out, you know, from the pandemic and have a good time and really unite the people in Iowa. And it was an amazing day, an amazing night. And I was so privileged to be invited to referee that fight. So it was a lot of fun. They were fantastic.
I love Iowa. I did part of the documentary on some other ladies that went through the same experience I went through, and Iowa is very beautiful, very welcoming. The people there are so nice.
You lived there for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I didn't live in Iowa. No, I'm a Memphis, Tennessee girl.
Yeah, but you like where did you go?
No,
in 2013 or 2012 2012 or whatever it was.
Probably New York. I'm not sure.
No, you like moved out of the state for.
No, that was Ohio. That
Yeah,
wasn't
close
Iowa.
enough. There you go.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I thought it was one of them states.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Our poll question tonight is, should transgenders participate in women's sports? Agree or disagree? Given what somebody agreed to do, I can't mention names, but somebody had given the permission to allow it. So what are your thoughts on that?
My personal opinion is males should compete with males biologically, and females should compete with females biologically, especially in combat sports.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfectly stated. Perfectly stated. Now, would you oppose transgenders having their own fight program where they all fight with each other? What do you think about that?
I still feel like that would be.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah. See, I
just.
I mean,
yeah. Unless you
either you're a biological male or you're a biological female.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Hey guys.
Now, if in that transgender field, you would have a biological male and a biological male fight each other, of course. Same with biological female. You know, they're putting themselves on the other side of it, which is fine, but they're still biologically the same. So that could definitely happen.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Give me a second there, Rob. PhillyDrinkers.com, pages A to D-radio. Get your merchandise, even get your Racheal Blaze t-shirt with the show emblem on it. I don't know what I said, but it started off good. PhillyDrinkers.com. Check them out. All of the gear is out there. A2D, radio gear, Racheal Blaze gear, and all the other shows gear are on that website. That just went away. Philly Drinkers, I love you, man. Hey, Greg, how are you? I'm not sure if this question is for you. Oh, okay. So he says he disagrees to the poll. Okay. Yeah, Rob.
Did you happen to mention you were fighting and refereeing at the same time?
Yeah, the time frame was I started refereeing in 94. I started fighting in 91. So from 94 to 2000, I was doing both.
That had to be tough. What was, when did you decide, all right, I got to hang up one of these and move on? Or what age were you when you stopped fighting?
So my final fight was in November of 2000. And it was easy. My body told me that it was time. My brain was still working pretty well. So it was a good time to call it. But I knew from a long time ago that I always wanted to always be part of the sport. So officiating was the natural transition. And that made getting out of actual fighting a lot easier because I was still involved with the sport.
Got to be challenging watching fights or being like a referee and being a fighter before. You probably got some part of you in you that wants to switch real quick and jump in their shoes or their gloves, Yeah,
it's interesting you say that because especially when you're a newer official and if you were a fighter, somebody like Frank Trigg that was a fighter for a long time and then he became a referee. The challenge is not being judgmental. Like saying, as a referee, they should have done this or they should have done that. But the more experience you gain, the more you can start to remove yourself from that judgment and just assess what's in front of you. But yeah, it's tough not to flip that switch. It really is, especially at the beginning.
I've heard that from so many retired fighters, including Joni Carter. I've even had, you and I had this discussion. I begged, I'm like, you got to stop fighting. Stop fighting. He's like, Racheal, I don't know how to turn it off. I don't know what to do.
It's like a drug. You can't stop.
It's the truth. And I'm like, well, just train. I mean, you don't have to be do something else in the sport. But it would drive me nuts because, I mean,
He's a
right towards
competitor.
right towards the end, I mean, I'm watching him get knocked out. I was his cornerman. I'm like, oh my, stop it.
Like,
I
we
can't
can't
do
do this
it.
no
And
more.
then, you know, when I wanted to stop the fight, he's like, no, you can't stop fight. I'm going to fight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to my
I
corner.
think a good example is GSP. You know, he trains, and I know he gets the fire back that he probably wants to get in there, but he's smart enough to be like, I'm past my time. You know, I'm in good shape, but, you know, I can still think on my own. I can still move. You know, it's unfortunate we've seen that Spencer Fisher thing that came out recently. So, you know, it's unfortunate. You really got to try to listen to your body and be truthful to yourself like you did. So, hey, respect to you. Hats off. You stopped and
I appreciate that. And the good news about today is we do so much investigation and so much research into brain trauma and those types of things. So there's actually a lot more information available than there was previously. You know, we bring Shoney up as an example. He's been one of my closest, dearest friends in the business forever. Can't even tell you how many times I've refereed him. I fought on fight cards with him. And, you know, those conversations have come up about, you know, when do we stop this? When do we do something else? Shoney has so many different talents that he could be focusing on those and not on competing anymore. But, you know, he's had that competitive fire in him for so long. Some guys just don't want to give that up. And, you know, some people wait too long, and we've seen some examples of that. But I just happened to be in a good place where I knew it was time. Not everybody has that type of advantage. So
curious if people are nervous
it's tough.
to meet the next chapter. They don't know if they'll
I think
adapt.
that's what it's like. You know, they don't know what's happening after. There's no real plan set
I'm good
up
at this.
after.
I know this.
Yeah.
So
Hard to venture into
It's
something
like
else.
it's like that one movie with Mickey Rourke and what was it, The Wrestler?
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
he was way past his prime, and he's
Yeah.
like, I don't know anything else. Like, this is all I know. This is all I can do. So he continues to wrestle, and it's, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like going into the sport, people should set up an after plan, like an afterthought. Okay, here are the avenues that you could explore after, you know, you get done with your fighting career. You know, like for instance, for you, you know, going into refereeing, if you still like fighting after, you know, fighting so many fights for so long, you know, that there's so many options you can do involved in this sport that you can, you know, get into, like, you know, refereeing.
Yeah, well, that's the other nice thing about where the sport is today. We actually see that. You know, we actually see a lot of these fighters becoming commentators and analysts, and, you know, they start their own nutrition companies, all those other things. I mean, you know, back when in the early 2000s, when I stopped, those weren't even options. There was none of that available unless you wanted to be like an announcer or something like that. But there's a lot more available today than there was. And that's what I love about it. People can actually leave the competition part of the sport and still be a big part of it.
And that's nice. That's nice to have like an avenue.
Yeah, there
out of
wasn't
there
a lot of
that's-
opportunities back in the day.
Yeah, I'm surprised there
No.
wasn't, though, because I mean, who would make like the best, you know, refs or, you know, judges in a way, you know?
Would be fighters. People
It's
have
just
already
it's
fought.
just like
Yeah.
it's just like bodybuilding. Who would make the best, you know, judge in bodybuilding? Somebody who's obviously done bodybuilding. You know, can't just pull somebody in off the street who doesn't know anything about it. Like me going to judge a fight event, that would be the stupidest thing in the world. Like, oh yeah, I think he won. Yeah, that looks about right. You know.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. In my classes, I actually bring up that debate. A lot of times when you put a fighter in a judge's chair or you put a fighter in the cage, they still have biases, and those biases aren't favorable, and they're not fair to the fighters. There are a lot of benefits and detriments to it. You know, you just have to weigh it out. And if you decide to do that job, you just have to make sure that you put your biases aside. It's not an easy thing to do, though.
That makes
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
because
yeah,
some people it's very difficult to be unbiased.
Well, I'll give you an example. You know, if I have a new judge that I'm training, that's, let's say, a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and then I have another judge that I'm training that's newer, that's an expert in Muay Thai. And, you know, we're supposed to weigh everything out equally as a judge, but you have that jiu-jitsu player that they're going to look at jiu-jitsu a lot heavier, or they're going to be a lot more critical of the jiu-jitsu. And actually, nobody's opinion should be part of it. So that's one of the challenges when we get to, you know, fighters or jiu-jitsu, karate. If you have biases for or against those styles, you're never going to evaluate a fight equally.
That's a good point. I was curious though. Out of curiosity, how many judges are there usually? Is it? I'm assuming there's more than one, but I don't know how many.
There, well, there's always 3 per bout at cage side.
Okay.
Always 3.
Okay.
Now
that makes
that's
sense.
something I would like to do is
Judge?
to.
Yeah,
I would judge,
I can see you doing that.
but sometimes those judges get a lot of shit. If
I mean, what if you
they're
make
like, let me
the
see
wrong-
your scorecard. I
Yeah.
want to see it. I don't believe it.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like-
it's a tough job.
Oh, someone's gonna catch you out in
and
the
it's
parking lot,
funny.
but like, you didn't go for my fight. God damn it!
I know. Yeah, it's a tough job.
Like,
and it's
have
like-
you ever gotten that? Have you ever like made a call where somebody was just pissed at you, and then you know, like whatever it was, like a
Thanks,
fan or
Andy.
whatever came up to you and said something, or
Constantly.
yeah, well,
It's never ending. And you know, when you start to do the shows that have more eyes on them, the higher level shows, if you make a mistake or if people perceive you make a mistake, it's heavy. It gets really heavy, and it actually scares a lot of people out of the sport, or, you know, it creates havoc in their own personal lives. Yeah, I've been through it. You know, even on the highest level, I've been attacked on certain things, and people doing crazy stuff like threatening your safety and your family.
Really?
We know sports fans are rabid.
Crazy.
like,
You know,
but it's
Yeah.
like I could get that
Especially-
like during the event or whatever, but like after everything's said and done, you know, it's kind of like you leave work with work, and then you leave your home life at home. You know,
not
you
with
can't
the fans.
you can't just mix it. That's
Not
not
with
cool.
fans and
Like I get like certain people are
fighter.
so like, you know, emotionally like involved into it,
Attached,
but it's like it's not the same. It's like, okay, he made the call, this is what it is. There's no whatever you say is not going to change that call. That what's done is done.
Right.
So there's no need
yeah,
to,
but
like,
just think of us as sports fans. You know, if your team didn't get into the Super Bowl, are you going on a rant on Facebook? Or, you know, if you don't like Tom Brady, are you going on a rant? You know, are you happy when he has a bad game? You know, fans are fans, and honestly, as an official, that's what we sign up for, and everybody's cool with it until the spotlight's actually on them, and then we see who the strong individuals truly are. But you know, fans are always going to be fans. You know, if you have somebody like Dana White that disagrees with what you do, and he goes into the media and the press conferences and talks about it, and your friends and family, your kids, they see that, fans don't have a line. They don't have a line of what's personal and what's professional.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's what we sign up for, though.
Hey, Rob, can
Wait,
I ask
what?
a favor? Since you're not driving, can you turn on your light so we can see your cute little face?
Yeah, I just parked, so let me.
All right. Like, how did you know he stopped driving? Like, oh, you're stalking him now.
So hey, since we're there, talking about the fans, we had a question. It's from Spent. So kind of more towards you now. Take the fans out of it. Have you stopped a fight premature and then later felt some type of way, or just it felt weird the rest of the night, or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Any mistake I make and any mistake I've made, I don't sleep for weeks. I take what I do absolutely seriously, and most officials do. Yeah, man, we make a mistake. We know we make a mistake. One of the things that gaining a lot of experience in the industry is that I learned, you know what, stand up and admit it. You know, I would go to an athletic commission if I made a mistake and go, look, they're right. I did stop that fight early. But not everybody has a high level of that personal confidence and integrity.
Yeah.
You know, most people would just like to let it slide and forget about it. No, I take those things seriously. And if I know I made a mistake, I've actually gone to the fighters, I've gone to my commissions, and yeah, just stand up for it and go, listen, man, I screwed this up. You know, I'll learn from it, do better next time. But it doesn't take the hurt away. It's just, it's an integrity thing for me.
You're making split-second decisions sometimes. It's tough, man. You really, you know what you signed up for, like you said, but it's tough. It really is. People
have zero idea the amount of split-second decision making, you know, for mostly referees, but even for judges to remember a 5-minute round at a time. It's not easy, but yes, being a referee and making that decision, is he out or is he not? Is she tapping from the armbar or is she waving her hand? You know, it's just, it's one of the toughest things I've ever done. And I'm so thankful for that, because most other things in life are much easier.
I didn't even think about that before.
That one. Do you want to read that one?
Have you ever, a fight broke out and tried to stop it and got hit, or
punch in the face?
You ever got hit?
You were trying to stop a fight. And then you got hit.
Yeah. Bring it here.
Oh yeah, you know, good thing about being a fighter is you never forget what it's like to be hit. But yeah, there have been times to where I either got too close to the action, or now that hasn't happened in a long time because I improved my distancing. I know to stay, you know, at a certain but the longer you do this, you're going to get clipped for sure. There's no way around it.
All accidental and nothing.
Yeah, nothing on purpose, right? Nothing intentional.
No names out there, but nothing.
I've had fighters be mad. I've had corner people be mad. I've never had a fighter physically come after me. A long time ago, there was a fighter who got knocked out, and as he came to, he thought he was still in the fight. So we were circling like we were boxing, and I was just trying to evade him until his corner guys could come into the cage and get him. But I've never had a fighter be angry and attack me, luckily in my career. So no, but there have been other referees that have.
Being upset's nature of the game, but right, that's cool. Make respect for you, and hey, you're good at your job. So yeah, good that no one's came at you. But we've seen it out there, like you said, the fans and some of these athletes. You know, the emotion gets them, and I'm sure they're good people. But you know, sometimes, like I said, split-second decision, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have swung. I shouldn't have. Khabib jumping over the cage, just all types of things. You know, it's you know, you got to be real quick and real wise with that. Those decisions.
100%. And again, as you gain more experience, one of the things that happens, unfortunately, with a lot of referees, they make a decision. Either they stop a fight too early, too late. They make the wrong call, but then it affects the rest of the bout they do for the rest of the night, and even the upcoming events. You know, one of the important things you learn through experience is, yes, you made a mistake, but you also have other fights to do that night. You need to put that aside, and you need to be fully focused on what's happening, because a lot of referees will either over adjust or under adjust and make continued mistakes because they haven't gotten over what happened previously.
Hey, I have a question, and I've always wanted to know this. I have some opinions about some of the shows that I have been at, and there's some good shows and there's some bad shows. Have you ever had one of those? Good shows and bad
Racheal,
shows.
you and I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes. And yeah, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly is always going to exist. Since regulation, it's become a little bit better. But when we talk about, big events with big budgets, and then we talk about small events with no budget, and then we talk about the amount of regulation a state has or doesn't have, it all contributes. But yeah, some of my favorite events have been what you would call some of the worst. They weren't fun at the time, but they were fun looking back at.
Yeah. I think I went to one in Chicago. I'm not going to name any names. They're no longer around, but I did go to one, and I swear, I think I walked into like the mash. What is that?
Like
the mosh pit or
something?
whatever. I mean, the cage was in the middle. Everybody was smoking weed and smoking cigarettes. I'm like, whoa, how is this like? And they were throwing in like debris inside the cage and throwing ice at fighters. And I'm like, what the hell? What am I witnessing right now? I thought I was coming to a fight, and
Savages.
It was it was just not professional, in my opinion.
Well, when the sad part is when they license anybody, whether it's a promoter, or a fighter, a sanction, professionalism is not a requirement. It's a choice. And, we find that everywhere. You look at like a little league organization. They might be really organized or they might not be. And, unfortunately with combat sports, it's pretty heavy. And if you have that unprofessionalism or the lack of safety, it shows bright and clear,
And then I think, I don't know, Andrew, do you think fighters really care about it? They just want to fight. Do you think they care about?
I feel like they have to care to a certain extent. I feel like they kind of know what they're getting into, during these fights, because they all want to fight. They all want to fight, but at the same time, they know what it is. It is what it is. So it's.
I'm hoping that there's more professional shows now. I mean, how many shows do we have here in Illinois? We have XFO, that's still going on. Total Fight Challenge. There were some, is it Fight Card Entertainment? Is that one still going on?
Yeah, Fight Card Entertainment. Cutthroat, I still believe, does shows in Illinois.
Wait.
I think that does it outside of the big organizations.
Wait, who took over Cutthroat? Because I thought.
Oh, Cutthroat's actually called something else now.
Okay. Because I thought the original guy, he went bye-bye because some things.
Some things had happened.
Some things. So I didn't know if they. So I'm wondering who took over that show. Huh. Or changed the name. I don't even know what the name is. That's interesting. But Andrew and I have been talking about this, for a week or so, or a couple weeks, about trying to figure out how to bring MMA back to the scene in Illinois. I have been out of the loop. I don't know if it's the same female in charge of the sanctions here in Illinois, or has that changed?
No, that hasn't changed, and it operates the same way. I haven't done a show myself in Illinois in a long time, maybe since, I don't know, 2010 or something like that. I do my work everywhere else except for the state I live in.
Well, that says a lot about Illinois. Hey, isn't there term limits for these people in the sanctioning body? I'm just saying. Can we just vote for new people?
In Illinois, there's not.
Wow. That is horrible. Is she going to retire anytime soon?
I'm trying to say she's old.
Chances are no.
Damn it. What do you suggest? What do you think we could do to bring the spotlight back to Illinois? What can we do to change that?
We used to have, like she said, good fights. We was, I ain't got to preach it. You've been there. Yeah. You've seen the good, bad, and ugly, but the good is what we want. Like you said,
well,
help you,
yeah, the good news is the bad news for the good Illinois promoters is that they're in a tough spot. They're overregulated by people who have no business doing any of this, and that's what they have to live by, and so do the fighters. The fighters are treated or mistreated a certain way. I have no thoughts or plans for Illinois. I gave up on that a long time ago. I spend my time quality with people who actually want to evolve and move forward. So I'd be happy to advise you guys on any other state. Illinois has been what it is, and it's going to continue to be. So I don't have any recommendations.
Oh,
I mean,
Damn.
I know. I was
The truth
but
hurts,
you know. The
but
truth
it-
hurts.
You know what I say? The Indiana border is really close. The Wisconsin border is really close. The Iowa border is really close. Cross that border, man, and do your thing.
Hey, everything's
That's-
better in Wisconsin.
and it's probably a little bit cheaper because what is it to do a pro show here? What, 40, 50,000 to put on a show?
A lot.
Yeah.
Way more than it should be.
Okay.
Like downtown.
Yeah, because I mean, it
Like,
used to be like, I mean, what, amateur? It was like 10 grand to put on a show. It was really cheap back in the day, and now it's like, what? What?
inflation.
Yeah.
Shows are getting expensive.
So I mean, God bless Joe and Dan and all those guys who have shows here in Illinois and deal with that shit, because I would be, I'd be livid because that's your life dream. This is what you want to do, and but you can't do it in a certain way because you've got a sanctioning body over your head. And I mean, I thought maybe it got better. I mean, I thought maybe she got better, but apparently not. So Iowa's beautiful. I would love to stay there for a week and have a show. Indiana, I don't know that much. I've been to Horseshoe. It's a very nice place as well. I'm not really liking the surrounding area, but I mean, the Horseshoe is really nice. You know, I don't know that much about Wisconsin, but Wisconsin, they love fights. They love it.
Yeah, you got Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, even though Michigan's not that well regulated, those are all still very good places, and they're fairly close by. So, you know, for you as a fighter, it's maybe a little more driving time and stuff like that, but you know, most of the time you'll be treated right. It's well regulated, but not over regulated. And, you know, you feel comfortable. You feel comfortable as a fighter. You feel comfortable as a coach. You feel comfortable as a promoter and an official when you know that the people who are regulating the sport actually have your back and they're there for you and not there against you.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do some more talking, Andrew. We'll have to do some more talking with you, Rob, for sure.
If you guys want to put on a show anywhere but Illinois, I'll be happy to jump in the cage for you.
He's like, oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
Where's the
And
show at, Illinois?
I don't know if Doc is still doing it, but I would want Bruce Hertz there. I love him so much. We call him Doc, and I found out some things about him that I didn't even know, and I'm like, you're the coolest Doc now ever. Like, you are the best.
This guy I went to
Yes, Bruce Hertz.
Yeah.
Yes, Bruce.
Yeah, Doc Hertz is a classic.
Yes,
he's an absolute classic. Love that guy.
We went out there.
Cool dude.
He was so sweet. He's like, hey, Racheal, I've got some, because, you know, Destin's bodybuilding, the gyms are closed. He's like, you know, every language in the book came out of his mouth. And so finally, Bruce was like, hey, I've got some weights for your son. You want to come pick him up? We go out there to pick him up, and we're talking to him. And I mean, he is just the coolest guy ever, the most laid back Doc ever.
And, you know, not only Dr. Hertz, there are a number of good doctors, but really as a fighter and as a referee, that's massively important. I need to know that if I'm refereeing and one of the fighters I'm reffing gets hurt, injured, needs an assessment, that sort of thing. And you guys as fighters, you know, you need to know that there's good people that are going to be looking out for you outside of yourself. You know, fighters can be their own worst enemies, and you know, I'm good to go, I'm this, I'm that. And, you know, there's times when people with good medical assessment or good assessments as referees, we need all those people to be at a solid level.
I agree with that statement. Rob, I've got to ask you because I swear I think there's aliens right behind you on your shoulder, but I keep seeing these two red lights that way. These two red lights that keep going back and forth behind you.
I don't. Be ready.
Yeah.
I actually pulled over in a parking lot so I could talk to you guys. I know I don't have any. There's no aliens around me for sure.
Agent,
I don't know what the red lights are.
I know they're like in the back of you, and
right?
see, it's right there. I told you, and I'm like,
hey, those are car lights. Those are car.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah. You know what? Those are the brake lights of the cars going by.
I thought so.
Oh my god.
No aliens.
The whole time.
Alien
She's
gate.
Like sitting there really eyeballing it.
Steve goes, alien gate, laughing out loud. Oh god.
No, we definitely don't need any conspiracies or anything like that going on. So.
Oh my God, Rob, you are so amazing. And I really appreciate you coming on for me tonight. I know it was last minute, so I'd like to have you on again because there's some other things I'd like to talk to you about aside from sports. Would you be willing to come back?
I would love to come back. I appreciated you having me on. I apologize at last minute. I ended up being in the car and all that other stuff, but I'm so thankful to be on. I appreciate you guys.
And there's so many. Make sure you read the comments. You can go to Facebook, A2D Radio. Read the comments because you have some very nice comments about the work that you do. So make sure you read those.
Wow, I appreciate that. It's better than hearing the complaints about referees, so that's good. It's a little bit different. I like that. I will definitely read. I appreciate all those comments, so thank you.
People definitely voice their complaints.
Like here's one. You want to read it, Dustin?
Wait, no, go ahead.
Oh, you read it. It's such a nice comment. It's from Michael.
Okay, from Michael Wesley. Was it Chromiak?
Don't even try. Just
all right,
just
all right.
don't.
We're gonna skip that. Forgive me. Yeah,
you can tell us how to pronounce it.
I have so much respect for what you guys do. You guys have so much responsibility, both for the health of the fighters and the integrity of the fight. Thank you for all of your work, Rob.
Explanation.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And I'm so thankful, and I'm really excited to have you back on again. And A2D Radio is going to love you just as much as I do, and Andrew and Dustin. Oh, yeah. Dustin is my son, by the way, which I think you know.
I know.
We're surprisingly related. I know it's weird, isn't it?
We're the only mother-son podcast out there. How cool is that, guys?
All right. So Dustin, it's definitely not intended to embarrass you, but I remember seeing pictures of you when you were a cute little kid.
Yeah.
You're not,
because she was always trying to pimp me out even back then.
Like
she's like, "Oh, look at my son. You want to be, you know?"
Now you're a handsome young man, and that's cool. But I remember those cute little kid pictures. So I'm so happy to see you. You know, Mom's a rock star. And Racheal, I'm so happy to have you back in the game.
Yay,
I'm thrilled.
Too. I know I'm not a professional podcaster, but I'm like, okay, I'll come back on. I remember that. I don't know if you were there. Remember the time I commentated? You probably weren't there. I don't remember. I think it was at the strip club.
Wait.
Yeah, it was at the strip club that Cutthroat was having, and they asked me to commentate, and I was hysterical. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, she's so funny." I've never commentated a day in my life, and I'm like, "Oh, that was a great move! Oh my god, did you see that?" And, I mean, people were like, "What the
What the hell is this all about?"
I didn't know all the moves, and I'm like, "Yeah, he's got him in a hold thing, like yeah."
The whole ball.
So it was like, yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm learning a lot, but I've learned. I know the marketing and promotions of the business, and I know like other things and rules and protecting fighters and what fighters want. That's what I know. I don't know all the technical stuff. I can have fun with it.
Well.
Though.
You know what? You're best known for being an amazing inspiration to the fighters, to the sport. You were definitely something that during that time we really needed, because people either thought the sport was the best or was the worst. And you were somebody that came from the outside and really embraced everybody, supported everybody, always had a positive outlook on it. So we knew that anytime that you were going to be at an event, that we were at least going to have some positivity there and some people somebody that was really rooting for everybody. You wanted everybody to do well. So I personally thank you for that. And I know people really appreciated that about you.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I
He's
thought
just
people
spitting
forgot.
facts.
I know. I thought people forgot about me. But then
No
I
way.
talked to somebody today.
Like,
Who did you talk to today?
Mr. Michael Santiago.
Oh yeah, Santi.
That's
Yeah.
a childhood friend of mine, you know, and hopefully we can bring him on. You know, he's had to travel. He's seen the good, the bad, the ugly, made it to the UFC. So, you know, maybe we can have him on here. But yeah, definitely would like to talk to you again. We can keep this going for a long time. And
We're gonna do a round table. You down for that?
I'm down for that. I would love to be back on anytime and put Santiago on there with me, man. I love that kid. I've watched him from the beginning of his career and had the privilege of refereeing him a few times, and I absolutely love him. So great stuff.
I talked to him earlier, so absolutely, yeah. Like I said, childhood friend, man. I love him, the whole family. You know, love seeing him grow. It's amazing. Even though it's him, you kind of feel like part of me. I'm on the journey too. You know, you get a good feeling like I didn't make it to the UFC, but we made it to the UFC.
Yeah.
You know, like so.
I helped you along that journey.
It's more of a team sport and a team effort than people realize.
Agreed.
There's no fighter that does anything of significance alone. None. Ever.
I feel like that's what a lot of, you know, so-called like single sports, more, you know, individual sports is, you know, there's always a team, there's always a crew, you know, a town of people that are just, you know, backing you up, that's, you know, helping you through it. You know, even with bodybuilding, it's the same thing. You think it's an individual person just walking up there on stage, and it's much more than that. If you look behind that person, there's, you know, an amazing coach, an amazing, you know, support system. You know, there's other bodybuilders that, you know, end up, you know, coming together as a community that, you know, kind of support each other. Kind of like B Fitness, you know, just as an example.
Or the mom that takes pictures so that he can advertise himself and market because I'm a marketing queen.
Yeah, ever so often I get pictures taken of me.
I do.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
most of the time people think I'm his girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, no, that's my son.
Compliment though.
It's so
I'll take
misleading.
I did a pretty good job, I think.
fantastic.
Yeah. So I think we're ready for our second guest, and I know you're probably ready to go home,
man.
right? Are you going home?
Enjoying.
Yeah, I'm going to be home shortly, and I thank you guys immensely for having me on. I would love to do this again. So let me know, and I'm down. I'm in.
Maybe we can have you in studio.
Oh.
Sure.
We would love to have you in studio.
More than down.
He's in state,
Yeah.
right? Is he close?
I don't know. Well, we're not going to say on air where he's just in Illinois. We'll DM him and ask him, but we won't announce it to the world. But I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for spending the time with us, Rob. And you're like one of my good friends. I adore you so much, and I appreciate the kind words. And thank you so much. It just melts my heart. It does.
I appreciate and love you as well. And thank you guys. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the comments. Looking forward to next time.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
It was awesome getting to know you, getting to, you know, get a little what do you call it, like communication back and forth. That was awesome.
He likes
a little
meeting
information.
you guys.
I always learn a little bit more with every, you know, podcast that we do with, you know, people who are in the fight industry. Like, because before I really, to be honest, did not know.
He just saw his mom going to different places.
That's why I grew up with that. Her going to like different fighting events. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What is this?
You have the coolest mom. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was that kid that was like a shut in. I'm like, I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything. Then she finally took me to what was it? It was a gym up in Chicago.
We were doing a photo shoot for the kids.
Yeah.
And I believe that was at Steve Colonna's gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we did the Blaze Kids photo shoot there. That was amazing. He got to meet Nate Jones and Fearless Fernando. And
wait, we saw that the little girl,
but she's grown up now. One. Taylor the Terror.
Yeah.
She is grown up and she has a baby now.
I remember her climbing a light pole.
Yeah. She's not doing that anymore. She's a mom. And I'm so proud of her. Right? All right, Rob, I'm going to take on my second guest. I love you, and we'll have you back on again real soon, okay?
Take it easy.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Rob.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, guys. I don't know if our second guest is ready. I'm sorry for the overage, but it's always a pleasure to connect with Rob. But I have Anthony Cruz who's going to be on tonight. And let me tell you, Anthony Cruz has got a story. And he is one of the most amazing. He's another great supporter of mine, but he's got a great story. And I would suggest you guys run over there and welcome him and follow him. And he's done so much. He's a first degree black belt in TKD 95, TKD champ, 3 times kickboxing champ, celebrity trainer, pro athlete, MMA, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Come on, you guys. He has got a career. He's got it all. He's got it, but he's got a really good story. I don't know if he's going to share it, and I'm not going to pry, but I'm so excited to have you on, Anthony. If you're here, is he on? Is he on? Hold on 1 second.
Where to find Rob at?
Oh, that's right. Do we?
Yeah.
Do we put that out there?
We'll talk about. Yeah,
I'll give a comment or something.
Yeah, Rob Hines is on Instagram. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. I'm not sure of any of the other social media sites because there's so many. But those are the 3 main ones, and you guys can give him a follow. I'm not sure if he's got a fan page or not. He's not that type of guy. But go ahead and give him a follow. Yeah, he really is.
You guys seen it. Very good people.
Okay, just waiting for Anthony to jump on. I mean, what a great interview that was with Rob.
That was
and have
awesome.
him come
I
on.
Didn't want to
How are you going to have tequila and not share?
I asked him. He said no.
Well, he can't. He's training for a show.
Come on, Mom.
I can. I just can't excessively have.
Once in a while, I like to have a sip.
We're just going to have a little shot of tequila to celebrate.
Hey,
the ancient aliens that have joined our A2D radio show.
While we're waiting, Spence said thoughts on Michael Chandler. Someone said Jake Paul or Ben Askren. Real quick, Chandler showed out, man. Spence. Is that who said it? Yes. Spence, bro. Chandler showed out. He made me some money too, brother.
He made you some money?
He made a bet.
You bet it?
But I bet on Connor, and he made me some money too, brother.
Anthony, made you some money?
He made a bet. You bet it?
Hi guys, how you doing?
What was that? Hey Anthony, how are you? I don't look back.
It took me a while to set it up. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's good. Let me tell you, back in the day, Anthony and I and Steve, when we did the internet radio show, there was no video. We couldn't see his happy smiley face. Like a cell phone call, and it was it
was all by radio. No images, no other thing.
Now you get to see the news. So Anthony,
how you doing, guys? Yeah.
How are you? Tell us about A2D Radio. You are new to us, so tell us all about. I know about you, but tell us all about you. Give us some insight on who Anthony Cruz is.
Oh my God, man, I've done a lot. I mean, I'm a first degree black belt in Taekwondo under the great Grandmaster Tiger Kim in the Bronx. 1995, a full contact Taekwondo champion. Retired that. I mean, I was jumping around. I competed with Jerry Fontanes, who's a 2-time karate champion, very well known. I was on his team. I was on the Michael Wilamos under the John Reed Taekwondo system. I competed with them. I was part of the Wilamo Stinger competition team with them for a couple of years. Retired that to do kickboxing, and of course, Louis Bad Boy Ruiz, who's a 3-time world kickboxing champion, took me under his wings I started competing under Luis Negla and Ray Longo, which is to this day the biggest promoters in New York. And kickboxing, now MMA, because now MMA is illegal in New York. It took a long time to legalize it.
Oh, I
finally
remember that. We were all excited and celebrating.
Oh my God. We were advocating for years for that to happen. It was Henzo Gracie, me, Emerson Barbosa. I mean, the list goes on and on. There for years, we were championing to legalize it, and finally, like 2 years ago, finally it happened. But it was a pain in the ass. So I retired from karate to do kickboxing. Won 3 belts in kickboxing, 4 under Luis Negla. Tommy B. Baton was a multiple kickboxing champion himself. He also did his own promotions. Michael Corleone, who was also not only a champion, but also promoted kickboxing events in New York, 4 under him. Jonas Nunez, kickboxing champion, promoter, also promoted kickboxing shows in New York. Won another belt under him. So I've been around. And then yeah, so you know, when kickboxing, you know, of course, was going down, MMA was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, me knowing Henzo Gracie for many years, because my cousin David Bolo Rivera used to go to him for a long time, and for a long time he always wanted me to go to Henzo Gracie Academy. I'm like, I'm not doing no jiu-jitsu, man. I'm just gonna punch and kick somebody. I'm not doing no jiu-jitsu, you know. I mean, whoever thought that years later, finally when I retired from kickboxing, I called Henzo. Henzo, listen, I want to go to your gym. I need to learn jiu-jitsu. And he's like, Cruz, you're a champion. You're welcome at my school anytime. This is your house. And in 2008, I started training under him, under the guidance of Professor John Danaher, alongside with Rafael Saponatal, GSP, Frankie Edgar, Emerson Barbosa, all those guys. So I was just a baby in the team, really.
Hey. A vicious baby, like from the sound.
Oh my God! Listen, you know, Henzo tells me, "Oh, go on Monday at 1 o'clock," because one, you know, not everybody goes to just any class. You know, if you're the top guys training for competing, there's a class for that. Okay, so you don't just go to any class. So he tells me, "Oh, I'll just go to Monday 1 o'clock." Anthony, I said, "Okay, no problem." I'm thinking I'm going there with my chest high. I'm the champion, you know, walking big time. And here I am in my corner. I see Frankie Edgar. Here in my corner, I see GSP. I'm like, oh, he set me up. So just like that, I didn't feel big no more. I was like the little fish, you know.
You gotta love Henzo.
Yeah, and I looked at him across the room like, you son of a gun. I was like, okay.
Oh my God. Do you remember when I don't know if it was at a bar and he took out somebody? Remember that? He made the news.
Right. He was in the street and 2 guys tried to jump him.
Yeah.
And he ended up beating both of them.
He whipped their ass.
Yeah, and people were not talking like, what makes you think? I mean, of course, nobody knows him in the street, but go to show you, you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's why I don't pick no fights, because I don't know what the other guys are doing.
Especially now. Now everybody knows a little kickboxing, MMA, and you know, more than ever, it's more mainstream than ever. You know.
Like that would have been.
I know. I'm trying to get Henzo to come on my show. I'm
listen. He's also on Twitter. Okay, that's his thing. He's very rare on Facebook, on Instagram. Even though I have him on Facebook and Instagram, but he's always on Twitter. Twitter for him, that's his thing. If you gotta be there constantly and shout him out, and so, you know, listen, even me, when I write to him, he writes me back like 2 weeks later. I'm like, really? Forget it now, you know?
Hey, I got a question. We have our poll question, and this is kind of an important question. I want to know what your thoughts are on it. Steve, can you put the poll question on? Because I kind of want to read it.
What was it again?
Should transgenders participate in women's sports? Agree or disagree, and why?
Oh wow, man, you put him in the spot. I think they should make a league just for them.
Yes.
Earlier.
That way, because they're right in the middle. If they cross over to the guy, she'd be too women for the guys. If she goes to the girls, she's too many for the girls. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that right there becomes a conflict of interest. So you know what? Just make a league just for them, and that way it'd be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah. You're like the third person who said that they should have their own show if that's what they wanted to participate. Yeah,
it makes sense.
I mean, and now they're bringing it into the school sports arena. So now you've got girls and young ladies, and you've got young men. And so, how do we?
It's tough. It's tough because a lot of them. I don't know. I mean, you guys should know a lot of them do use testosterone enhancement to enhance the feature, whether it's guy to girl and girl guy. So of course the testosterone level is going to be higher than a regular person. Okay, it might not be higher than a guy, but it could be higher than a girl. So if you're going transgender girl, that's not fair because that person is going to be way stronger.
Yeah.
Than a regular girl. You know what I'm saying? Her testosterone is not as high, So in that particular field, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather them have their own event just catered for them, and that way there won't be no bias or nothing, and they could just be the best they can be on their own,
Yeah, because I mean, I just. Especially when you're involving our young people are already in so much peer pressure and and trying to graduate high school, and now they've got to be concerned about somebody who's in transition who has a penis that's going to shower in the girl shower room. Like
that's a lot for a young person.
That's a problem. I mean,
that's a lot because a lot of kids, they're still discovering themselves. Okay, and they don't even know about their body, what's going on in their own body, and then they have to learn about the opposite sex, whether it's a female, then transgender, and how to deal with that. And most households don't want to talk about it because some mom and pops either against it or don't want to talk about it, or they're afraid that they might rub into their kids. So it's a very sensitive subject. I mean, it's becoming more mainstream now than ever. But it's still maybe a sensitive subject, especially for young kids, even for adults. I'm born and raised in New York. You see, there's a big gay community, trans community in New York, and we love them both. I got a lot of clients that are whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As long as they respect me, I respect them. But even with adults, a lot of them they feel uncomfortable. Because if an adult could feel uncomfortable, imagine a kid.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think, and here's the other thing too. And okay, I have to take it there. I mean, we don't know if they're really a transgender. What if there's somebody who's playing as a transgender and wants to get in?
That's right.
Inappropriate themes.
That's right. And you don't know.
You don't know.
And you don't know.
And now we just open up a can of worms for accusation and things to and it's just not a good scenario. I've always was, taught differently. I mean, if you're married, you're not gonna, while your husband's out, you're not gonna have some other man come over to your house while your husband's gone. That's just don't do that. Because all kinds of things and accusations can happen. Your neighbor, I saw some man come over there, and I think
that's right. That's right.
But she's not. You know what I'm saying? I think it opens up a can of worms that shouldn't be opened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, now they, more gay people coming out, more transgender people coming out. They do have a place in society. They're not going nowhere. So either I don't care whether you're against it or not, they're here. Okay, you like it or not, they're here, and we have to find a balance in the middle because especially for kids, because they don't know much. You know, like I said before, even grown-ups are sensitive to this subject. They're uncomfortable, you know. So it's like you have to find a way to make it appropriate for the kids so they can understand and not be so timid or scared, you know. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, that's just a tough subject, and I'm sure this is going to be a hot topic for a while. First, it was Fallon Fox. I mean, do you remember Fallon Fox? I mean, everybody had a hard time, especially with that last fight she had. I mean, he demolished this poor girl, and I mean, that's just. I'm sorry, you're a man. I don't care if you want to be a female. You're a man with a man.
Well, genetically wise, I don't care if you change your parts. Genetically wise, you're a man.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, your hormone testosterone is gonna be way much higher than a female, because remember, you know, we have thousands of hormones. What makes a man is dominant hormone testosterone. What makes a woman, her dominant hormone is estrogen. When you go like this, you know, that's not good. When you go estrogen down, testosterone up, that means you're stronger, your recovery ability is faster. You know, that's not fair for somebody who genetically is a woman and her main hormone is estrogen. No, you know, I don't care. It's not fair. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, some I guess some sports are legalizing or making it okay because they don't want to be political with it and be in the middle of the storm. Or you're being biased or whatever, and they just let it be. But it's not fair. I don't think it's fair. It's like me fighting against a regular female. You're gonna sit right from the back and say that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. So it will be no difference. A transgender person goes and do the crossover and fight and go into the women fighting league. It's still the same thing. It's not fair.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dana White will be open to that. I'm kind of curious if that will be allowed in UFC or Bellator.
No.
Listen, I remember like it was yesterday when Dana White said that he would never have female MMA fighters in the UFC. Remember that?
Yes.
And you remember that? A lot of people don't go that far back, okay? And here is Strikeforce with Gina Carano. You know, she was the Facebook of the woman MMA. You know, nobody thought it was gonna get so big, and it did. And then all those girls, and here comes, you know, Gina Carano, Chris Cyborg, Ronda Rousey. All of a sudden, there's a market. So I mean, if you're a businessman, you can be stupid and say, "Oh no, there's no place for that." No, you're gonna grab it. So you know what I'm saying? So he did, and look what it is now. History, you know.
Smart move, yep.
But I remember it was yesterday. It was like, oh no, we will never have female MMA fighters in the UFC. Whatever.
So you've trained a lot of fight styles, you know, from stand up to ground game. One that you like more than the other, one more tough than the other to learn.
Well, you know, I started. Well, you know, even though I started with officially with the Taekwondo, my father, who was in the army, you know, he told me that, you know, back in the day when he was in the army, they showed him boxing and Shotokan karate as a way of self-defense. Of course, being his first boy, being born in the Bronx, New York, he was not raising no punks. Okay, yeah, so at 6 years old, he started teaching me, you know, his form of martial art. He already had his own way. He mixed boxing and karate together as a form of kickboxing, because, you know, he himself, even in his day, he thought that karate was too robotic. He was not really realistic for street fighting. So he mixed boxing with karate and made his own kickboxing form in his own way. So at 6 years old, he told me how to do that. So from 6 to 17, I was just doing that. Yeah, I really did. I never went to a real martial arts school. I left Puerto Rico at 17 to come back to New York. Wow. And so I decided, you know what, since I'm always fighting in the street, let me take this to another level. You know, and I remember like it was yesterday, because, you know, I remember the karate magazines in the back always had a listing all the karate schools in the area. So one by one, I went to all of them. I went to a Chinese school, whatever, Korean school, whatever, And sure enough, because I'm from the Bronx, I walked to Fordham Row in the Bronx to the Taekwondo school, and it's a second floor, so you go up 2 stairs. When you go into the school, there's a little lobby, and there's a bunch of pictures of Grandmaster Tiger Kim, which at that time I didn't know who he was. Apparently, he is well known, and he's jumping. He's like the Korean version of Bolo Young, short, stocky, muscle. Even with a suit, his arm was like this. Okay, and here he is flying, breaking all this stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy is real, So I go in and I saw his nephew, Usu Kim, and I said, man, I want to do this. So sure enough, my grandmother at the time, she paid for my year tuition, and from the minute I started, never missed a promotion test. Got my first degree black belt, in Taekwondo under him, and then '95 I got my Taekwondo won the Taekwondo championships in New York. But there's no money. You win trophies, but there's no money. I'm sorry, trophies don't pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Trophies are nice; they shine, but they. I need.
Yeah, money. I mean, but it's good. It's good, for experience. But at that level, I had already like 100 trophies on my living room. At that time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I'm really sacrificing this much and putting this much time training, and you could get injured anytime, and for no money, I'm gonna go where the money is. So at that time, kickboxing was big, and that's how I met Luis Ruiz and the rest of history. But now I favor both. Now I feel comfortable. Like in the beginning, because I started with my stand-up, and I was comfortable with my stand-up. Punching, kicking, elbow, knees. I don't care who you are. I was not really that good on the ground, because even though in Taekwondo they teach you self-defense, which is Aikido. So you got Aikido, Korean, Japanese. You got Hapkido, Korean. So in Taekwondo they teach you Hapkido, self-defense. So you do learn how to, wrist lock and hip throws and arm bars, but not like jiu-jitsu. Nothing like jiu-jitsu. So that's why when I went to Henzo Gracie, I'm thinking, oh, I know jiu-jitsu. The first 2 weeks, 2 girls submitted me.
Tapped out 100 times a day.
Yeah. Talking about humble experience. Okay, here I come. Because when John Danaher teaches us, we drill, we do drills. He teaches a technique, we drill that. In the end, we do 5-minute rounds, which equals a championship match in MMA. So, but you never do it with the same person. You do one round, you get up, step to the right, and whoever is in front of you, guy, girl, tall, short, that's your next opponent. So one day, my next opponent was a girl who's a black belt on the Henzo Gracie. Tall girl, skinny. I was like, okay. I lifted her up, no big deal. I take her down, 4 in her guard. Oh. She got me in the triangle. I'm thinking, she don't got it. Until as soon as I go like this, I tapped.
Fighter or whatever, and then getting there and getting submitted by some people. So you're understanding to be a complete fighter, stand up, ground game.
Right. But when you go there with this ego thing, you think you know it all, and be like, and then you actually grapple with people. That's what they do. It's a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? And then you learn. And then Henzo, because I told Henzo, I said, listen, you know what? Screw this. I'm going back to kickboxing. And he started laughing. The whole class laughed. I said, Cruz, it takes time. Learn. And you know what? He was right. After that, I never missed a class. And from 2008, 2009, I started teaching under him and promoting under him. Now I just opened a school here in Ohio with my business partner. This is the official Team Henzo Gracie Ohio. I'm the first one to teach under Henzo Gracie.
Where's my T-shirt?
Hey, that's for
I gotta send you one.
I've got
So
t-shirts over the years.
yeah, 2000. Well, that happened in 2013 because if you, Racheal, if you know that everybody's affiliated with Henzo Gracie has his same logo, different color.
Yes.
So that's how you know who's Henzo Gracie, who New York, Ohio, Florida, whatever. So mine became the blue and red. In 2013, I called him and I told him, Henzo, I want to teach under you and promote Team Henzo Gracie. Can I get your blessings? And he said, Cruz, my brother, you have my blessings. And Rich Finaldi, which I think you know who it is, he did the graphic design with it. I sent to Henzo, he proved it, and that became Team Henzo Gracie Ohio 2013.
I know we're going to do a shirt trade off. I'm going to give you one of my t-shirts, and I'm going to get one of those t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
We get a free class.
We're going to come to Ohio.
Listen, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
Well, I do plan on taking this show on the road.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Now I'm trying to do a bare knuckle. I know you heard that, but I don't know.
Wait, you're not? Are you gonna do bare knuckle?
I was scheduled to fight on July, and that show they canceled because of COVID, so I wasn't able to fight. And then after that, the matchmaker, Nate Shook, called me and he actually texted me on Messenger if I wanted to fight again, and I was like, not now. I'm concentrating on the school. Because with the COVID thing, we closed the school from March to August. So all that time, my school was closed, and all that time I was still paying rent. I don't know how I did it. Thank God, my business partner, family, and friends, they all chipped in to pay the rent, because otherwise, I would have let it go, like a lot of businesses have gone also because of the COVID. So thank God we survived.
Community comes together in time basis, and it's great.
It's amazing. And my business partner was like, Anthony, we're struggling. And I'm like, I know. I said, listen, you want to close it down? He said, no, don't close it.
That's the last thing.
I'm like,
what is it like to work with Henzo? He's so amazing. We used to have conversations back and forth on Twitter, but I was on a loop. I was sick for 8 years, and then I kind of fell off for a few years. And when I got really, really sick, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Thank God.
I know. I when I heard what happened to you, first of all, I didn't see you for a long time, so I'm thinking, what's going on with what's going on with Racheal? And then we start posting your the aftermath. I'm like, oh my God, thank God, man. But you know what? That's a testament of a strong woman, a strong person you are, and man, only somebody like you could have survived that, because that takes tremendous strength. I lost a friend to cancer, and see him go through that. Let me tell you something. I was very ignorant what cancer was until I saw him go through it. And again, from Illinois, white boy, personal trainer in Soho, New York, when I used to train, handsome guy, 6'2", 230, and all of a sudden he had intestinal cancer, and just like that, he went from weighing 230 to 165.
Damn.
And it was not it was not 165 healthy. It was 165 sucked in dry, bony, no hair, eye socket sucked in. If I would have seen him in the streets, I would have never recognized him. Oh my God, it was so ugly, and man, they gave him like 6 months to live, but again, his will. When you got that strong will, man, I don't know what to say. I mean, he lived a couple of years. I mean, he able to beat it a little bit and gain his weight back and everything. But then the cancer was spreading fast, and they couldn't do nothing about it, and we lost him. And that really, showed me that how strong people are internally. You know what I'm saying? You could be strong externally and lifting all this stuff, but when you got that will to live and to survive, that's something you cannot teach that. That's something is you. Either you have that, you don't. And some people just have strong will, and when they don't want to give up and say, I'm not gonna let this get to me, and I'm gonna beat this. Listen, get out of the way because they're coming back.
It's amazing to be back. I'm getting myself back in the game thanks to Steve.
Oh, thank God.
And he's like, Racheal, I got the perfect opportunity. You need to come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no. I avoided him for weeks. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then here I am.
Yeah.
I'm in here and I'm doing it. I'm not a professional podcaster, but I'm having fun doing it because I get to friends. Oh my God.
Yeah. You gotta have fun. But to answer your question about Henzo, the way you see him on video, that's exactly how he is. He's always joking around. He's always smiling. You know, when he teaches a class, it's never serious because it's always a story and laughter in a class. It's never serious training. You know, with him is for every submission, there's a story. Okay, for every submission, is a story, and then it goes from a story to a joke, and everybody laugh, and we go back to class. You know what I'm saying? So how you see on video, that's exactly how he is.
That's why his gym is super busy. I wonder what he did during the whole COVID thing. He's in New York, right?
Yeah, he lives in New Jersey.
So I wonder how that worked out for him because it was a struggle there, I'm hearing.
Well, the school, his main school. Well, he has. Now, when I left 2013, he had 3 schools. He had the main one in Manhattan, which is the motherland. Then he opened the one in Brooklyn. Then Eagle Gracie and Gregor Gracie, the brothers, Henzo's cousins, opened one in Queens. Julio Gracie, which also trained with him, had one recently opened one in before I left. Recently opened one in New Jersey. He also goes to Henzo Gracie in New York to train with us. And now you have Henzo Gracie Whitestone, Henzo Gracie Eastside, Henzo Gracie the Bronx. And he just opened a new one. Henzo Gracie Spain, Henzo Gracie Mexico. He's all over.
Well, how about Henzo Gracie in Chicago?
Yeah, is it not a thing in Chicago?
I think he has a school in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait a minute.
See what's up.
Yeah, check. Check. I think he does have one in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you got to give me the info.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll take the podcast there.
Because he has Daniel Gracie in Philadelphia, which I forgot to mention. He also trained with us. He's in Philadelphia. He trains a lot of top guys on the MMA world there too. So yeah, he's all over the place, man.
Okay, I am scared of Henzo. My goodness, I'm gonna have to like. I did kind of tweeted him a little bit. He's probably like, "Did she come back from the dead?"
Right.
He's like, "Is this the real Racheal? I don't know."
Yeah, be consistent. Be consistent because you know, even me, he don't answer to me like a week, 2 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? it just, I mean, and then when I call him, he don't pick up, and then he calls me, I miss him, so we play like catch up. I'm like, you son of a gun,
So what are you doing with yourself now? What are you going to be doing?
Well, for a couple of years, I was kind of retired, from kickboxing or MMA or whatever. I didn't like how the fighting world has gotten, especially in the UFC. Many times I could find the UFC and I say no because I just like the culture, knowing a lot of the guys who were fighting the UFC, the story they were telling me and the pay they were getting, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fight that level with that bullshit pay. Listen, I don't need the money. I'm a manager and personal trainer in New York, training celebrities. I was making good money. I don't need to fight. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for me was not the main thing. So I never did it. I a lot of times was they'll give me, putting my shoulder, Anthony, when you go to the UFC, I'm like, soon, but not yet. So it never happened. So now with bare knuckle, it's like, a new challenge. So I'm aspiring for that now.
Nice. I'm so excited.
You're coaching jiu-jitsu, or you're teaching jiu-jitsu, you got a lot in your arsenal. Do you teach, stand-up? Do you also at that school do pads, or do you anything else?
Well, in my school now, Tiger Thunder MMA, because I'm Tiger. My business partner is Thunder MMA, and I teach everything: boxing, kickboxing, no-gi, Henzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and MMA.
All right, cool. It's everything. Nice, because I know some people are just this and this, but MMA, man, if you want to be, which is a very growing sport, if you want to be a mixed martial artist, you have to be a well-rounded fighter. You have to. You don't want to play on the ground, but you got to be able to get up. You got to.
That's right.
You have to have because guess what? If you fight a Khabib or someone that's an all-American wrestler, I wrestled 15 years of my life. I believe I could take down whoever. So you got
sure.
That I got to get up, got to be able to clinch. So you have every arsenal. So I was just curious if you teach it all.
Yeah, I teach it all. I've been blessed, my boxing, kickboxing background and Taekwondo, and now Jiu-Jitsu with John Danaher and Henzo Gracie. I teach it all. And it's amazing because when I first came here in Ohio, I was teaching in Toledo and in Defiance. I was teaching 2 pros MMA fighters, okay, from here, from Ohio, and something like a Darcy choke, they didn't know what it was. Something like a Peru necktie, didn't know what it was. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's like purple level jiu-jitsu, and you pro? I said, listen, you better off staying here in Ohio and find the local circuit and get some experience. Because if you find the East Coast or go to the West Coast where these guys come from real school and from good camps, you'll get destroyed. Okay, so I mean, I couldn't believe it. So I go to show you how that's why here in Ohio, even now, not a lot of good fighters come from Ohio because there's no camps here. You got Rich Franklin in Cincinnati, but he doesn't have a camp. He has a school down there, and as far as I know, his jiu-jitsu guy, his friend who taught him jiu-jitsu, he don't teach there no more. So he had a school down there, but he doesn't have a camp. And you got what's this guy's name? The heavyweight champion from Cleveland.
Stipe
Miocic. You know what I'm saying? From Cleveland, but he doesn't have a camp either. He trains up there, but he doesn't have a camp. So I'm trying to have a camp, a legit camp here. You got Mike Brown. You got Mike Brown, who's also from Ohio. Yeah. But he probably the only one who actually you could consider having a camp, because he does teach, and he teaches himself, and has a couple of guys who comes from his camp. So I'm trying to do the same thing here, because I see that here, compared to East Coast and West Coast, there's nobody here with good camps.
Yeah, some of these gyms hand out belts like it's candy. So you never know. Someone could say they're a black belt, purple belt, and I've seen purple belts tap out black belts. So you just never know.
Congratulations, here's your belt. Wait, what'd you do?
Yeah. No, when I was teaching the 2 pro guys in Defiance, they were like, oh, Anthony, we never had nobody like you here. And I'm like, no shit. I'm like, I was teaching them things that I would consider beginner level. Darcy choke, Peru necktie, anaconda, Americana, from outside the head, behind the head, knee bar. Basic stuff. It was nothing fancy, and they were looking at me like with question mark face. I'm like, are you kidding me? Who trained you guys? No stand up, no kicks, no wrestling whatsoever. They didn't know how to sprawl. They know how to get up. I'm like, basic stuff. I'm like, wow. And you want to go to New York and fight guys in New York? I don't think so, man.
Why people like you? Nah, I'm sure.
Oh boy, hey, you gotta have optimism, right?
And we little optimism, right? You can do it. You can do it. Hey, I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know we're 1 minute to shutting down. I would love to have you come back on again. Thank you. Would you be interested in coming and joining us again?
Of course. Listen, Racheal, you don't. People don't know that when before before there was a such thing as social media, Racheal was the one who told me, Anthony, this is the way to promote yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is the way to put your name out there. I didn't know nothing about Twitter. I didn't know about fan club or nothing. She was the one who took me under her wings and showed me how big you could get through social media. So thank you, Racheal. That's why I'm always a fan. My head goes up to you. Much respect. And thank you for all the help over the years.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. I always enjoy helping as much as I possibly can. I'm probably the biggest giver ever. I love to give. I mean, I just gave my neighbors like a bunch of alcohol, like cute little bags.
He's like, drink it up, drink it up.
My neighbors are like, what the fuck is this at my door? Oh, you know, I really appreciate it. And I would love to have you back on. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Like,
We'd love to come out there too.
Yes.
Oh, listen, my gym is open. You could
like to train.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime, man.
I have been itching to get in my gi, so I'm like, let's do it.
I know your son is a bodybuilder. I bet you guys don't know that I used to train with Victor Martinez. We were part of Team Pro Edge in New York. His trainer is Victor Munoz. I used to be part of Team Pro Edge. He's my strength conditioning coach. He's the same guy that trains Victor Martinez.
That's amazing.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah,
I got pictures. If you go down on my photo, I got pictures of us three.
Oh, I gotta check this out.
And that was when Victor Martinez became pro. So when you see in the picture, he's not as big as he is now. You know what I'm saying? He just turned pro. That was in that picture, I believe. That was we went to the Bronx to some college. He was a guest, so he was there to do like a little exhibition thing, you know. And that's where that picture came about. So that was when he was fresh pro.
Oh, I gotta see this. I gotta see this.
We are definitely gonna have to come out there for sure.
Your Facebook or?
Yeah,
it's my Facebook. You just scroll down. I got a picture with Victor Martinez. I'm in the middle. No, I think Victor Munoz's trainer is in the middle. He trains Victor Martinez and a lot of professional bodybuilder, both women and men. And Victor Martinez is on the far left, and I'm on the far right. If you see, I was big there. I was like 185. The goal was for me to be 230 and cut down because at that time I was not fighting no more. So I'm like, you know what? Let me be a bodybuilder. So I joined Team Pro Edge. So yeah. So you see my arm in that picture was pretty big compared to who I am now.
I'm gonna take a look at this. We're gonna take a look.
Check it. Muscles.
I know you. I see you and your son always, training and putting pictures out there. You guys doing great, man. Keep up the good job. And listen, never give up. Never give up.
Never give up. I know I got about 30 pounds of fat to get rid of.
Gaining that weight is easy, but losing it is.
But consider
it is.
Considering on my deathbed, I was at 230 with full of inflammation.
Wow.
Yes, full of inflammation.
That's crazy.
Really bad. Like my face was super round. There were no cheekbones. It was,
all right.
She's bad.
Wow.
She's dialed it back.
I mean,
I survived.
You're definitely the Phoenix. You're definitely the Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
She was reborn through the fire.
That's right.
Fire. What are you talking about? Oh my God, I love you, Anthony. And I want to tell you, have a good weekend. We're going to have
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Anytime. Thank you. It'll be an honor.
And we can find you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right?
Yes. Just look at me Tiger Thunder MMA. I'm all in all the social media outlets.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony, for coming on the show tonight. We love you.
All right, brother.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
And where's Steve? There's Steve. Okay. I'm like, okay, we're not over yet. Guys, make sure you tune in next Friday. We are on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We got to get our time zones right. I get confused too myself. But I want to thank A2D Radio for having my show on their platform. Make sure that you are sharing A2D Radio and you're liking it. Make sure you're sharing Spittin' Fire with Racheal Blaze. And we're going to add Tarzan into the mix here and Andrew. Make sure you like the page and share it, okay? I've got some, look at them guns. I got guns too. Woo, baby, look at that. But make sure you like the page because I'm doing a giveaway. I might do 1 giveaway. I might do 5 giveaway. If we get to 500 likes, I'm going to do a giveaway.
There we go.
We're not giving it all away.
We're not going to give it all away. That would be cool, though,
That'll
right?
come out of his pocket. But no, we are going to do a giveaway, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and Spittin' Fire. I love you guys. And thanks for being with me and my friends. We're going to chat and
Good
go.
show. Thank you,
Woo!
guys.
Good
I
show.
wish I could toast to this, but diet. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Cheers to this
Yeah.
diet. It's getting